I just need to feel motivated again. But motivation is unpredictable. Some mornings you will wake up full of energy. Other mornings you won't. If your mental well-being depends entirely on motivation, life becomes exhausting. Purpose isn't something reserved for extraordinary people. It's built through ordinary choice. People rarely lose purpose overnight. It happens quietly. Have you ever reached a point where nothing was technically wrong? You are still going to work, still smiling, still showing up. Yet, inside, you kept asking yourself, why does this all feel so empty? Maybe the problem isn't stress. Maybe you have simply lost sight of why you started. Stay with me. Behind every smile is a story. Sometimes it's hope, sometimes it's healing, sometimes it's struggle no one else can see. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Smile, where we have honest conversations about mental health. Because understanding always comes before healing. My name is Dr. Michelle Nicole. I am your public mental health doctor. Every week, we explore the human side of mental health. Not just diagnosis, but everyday experiences, relationships, workplaces, and systems that shape our well-being. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, thank you for being part of this community. Before we begin, I would love to hear from you. Have you ever felt busy, successful even, but somehow disconnected from what you are doing? If that's you, let me know in the comments section by saying, I've been there. Today's conversation is personal. A few years ago, I reached a crossroads in my career. From the outside, things looked okay. People probably assumed I had everything figured out. But internally, I felt uncertain. Not because I didn't have work, not because I had failed. I simply couldn't ignore one quiet question. Is this really the life I'm supposed to be living? For a while, I tried to answer that question by myself. Eventually, I realized something important. Sometimes wisdom begins when we admit we don't have all the answers. So I asked for help. Those conversations didn't magically solve my problems, but they did something much more valuable. They helped me reconnect with my purpose. Not my job title, not my achievements, not my income, my purpose. As I became clearer about what mattered to me most, I intentionally became involved in a community whose mission reflected my values. At first, everything felt exciting. I thought this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Then reality arrived. Like every workplace, every organization, every relationship, every community, there were challenges, disappointments, frustrations, moments when I genuinely questioned whether I should walk away. And honestly, there were days I almost did. But before making that decision, I asked myself one simple question. Why did I start? That question changed everything. Not because the challenges disappeared. They didn't. But because I stopped allowing temporary frustration to define a permanent decision. Instead of walking away, I changed how I engaged. I explored different opportunities, built new relationships, created an environment that better supported both my well-being and my purpose. That experience taught me something I have never forgotten. Purpose doesn't always change your circumstances. Sometimes it changes how you move through them. One of the biggest misconceptions I hear is this: I just need to feel motivated again. But motivation is unpredictable. Some mornings you will wake up full of energy. Other mornings you won't. If your mental well-being depends entirely on motivation, life becomes exhausting. Purpose is different. Purpose gives direction. Think about a parent caring for a sick child, a nurse finishing a difficult shift, a teacher staying after school, someone caring for an elderly parent. Do you think they feel motivated every single day? Probably not. Yet they continue. Not because every day feels easy, because they know why it matters. Purpose doesn't remove pressure. Purpose gives pressure meaning. And meaning changes how we experience difficulty. That's one reason I teach that mental well-being isn't built by motivation alone. It's built by intentionally creating a personal mental health system, and purpose is one of the pillars of that system. Something I've observed both in individuals and in organizations is that people rarely lose purpose overnight. It happens quietly. One disappointment, one difficult season, one unresolved conflict, one exhausting month, then another. Eventually, people stop asking, what gives my life meaning? Instead, they ask, how do I survive today? That's a very different way of living. I've also seen this happen in workplaces. Leaders sometimes assume burnout is only about workload. Workload certainly matters, but I've met people carrying enormous responsibility who remain deeply fulfilled. I have also met people doing far less who feel completely empty. The difference isn't always the amount of work. Sometimes it's whether people can still connect their work to something meaningful. When people lose that connection, engagement drops, creativity declines, relationships become transactional, stress feels heavier, hope becomes harder to hold onto. That is why purpose isn't a luxury, it's protective. One simple practice I encourage people to try is this. Every evening, instead of asking, what did I achieve today? Ask, what mattered today? At first, the answer might be small. A meaningful conversation, helping a colleague, listening to your child, listening something new. Those moments rebuild purpose one day at a time. If today's conversation has resonated with you, I want you to remember this. Purpose isn't something reserved for extraordinary people. It's built through ordinary choices, through service, through relationship, and through living in alignment with your values. If you have realized you have been feeling disconnected lately, don't judge yourself. Don't panic. Instead, ask yourself this one question. Why did I start? You may discover that the answer isn't to walk away. It may simply be time to reconnect. If this episode encouraged you, share it with someone who needs this reminder. And if you're an individual looking to build your own personal mental health system, or an organization wanting to create healthier, more purposeful workplaces, drop me an email through michelleNicoleChapa@gmail.com. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, remember, behind every smile is a story. And sometimes the problem isn't stress, it's losing sight of why you started.